babe, look how my skin glistens in the sun. And he looked at me and he was like, ugh, it's dirty. When I used to come to your house, what did your mom used to say to me? The guys, the lights would go off and she would say, oh, where's Whit gone? Whit, smile. And that was an on-running joke in that household, like, Whit, smile, Whit, smile. This is the same guy that used to pocket watch me and say, oh, why didn't you tell me you got paid today? Oh, like, the bill's on you. Pay for the rounds of drinks for my friends. This is the same guy that told me he was Spanish when we met. And this is the same guy whose friends used to use the N-word and he would condone it by still being friends with them. And then the whole inside thing happened, and then Bob's your uncle, he was gone a week later because I didn't get the same clout that I got from Love Island. He presented himself to my family and to the world like, I'm a golden retriever, I'm a nice guy. So obviously everything that I do, I'm a pit bull. He's constantly trying to tap into the culture, but the same culture he stripped me of, the same culture he told me I was too ghetto, I was too loud, my family can't come to his sister's events because they'll steal the attention. Obviously his mom always gets involved. She's like, oh, Whit's just being difficult. You can look at me like, oh, you're a victim, you're embarrassing, but that's my story and I choose to own it.
When Whitney Adebayo walked into the villa during Love Island UK season 10, she arrived as herself unapologetically. She was effortlessly confident, unfiltered and instantly iconic.
Sticking bombshell Whitney in a load of gravel next to some rocks. Lovely stuff.
My name is Whitney, I'm 25 years old and I'm from Camden Town. Sit down. I'm an entrepreneur. I sell wigs. I've been out of the game for a minute. Like, I haven't really been dating, but from what I remember, I score. I've got a nice body, I've got a nice face, I've got a nice personality, I'm extremely smart. I'm just a full package. I don't care what people think about me. My friends would say I'm a bitch. But in a nice way, of course. I'm just a very honest person. I don't really like BS, that's not my vibe.
She was funny and flirty, loud when she wanted to be, quiet even when she didn't. She didn't chase approval, she didn't fake niceness, and for some viewers, it was refreshing. For others, threatening. Online, the praise came with backhanded compliments, but behind that coded language was the same message. A black woman is only palatable when she's quiet. Whenever Whitney would defend herself, she was aggressive. When she took up space, she was too much. But here's the thing, Whitney was not too much. She was finally just enough, and the UK had never seen that before. She coupled up with Mehdi, the French-speaking man, and on paper, it did look good, but in real time, something always felt off.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with me.
You've got an attitude, what's wrong with you?
I don't, Whitney. You started having the attitude there. I'm not gonna fall for it. If you want to have an attitude, you can have one. If you have something to say, say it.
I didn't even have an attitude.
You're literally, honestly draining all my energy.
How can I be trying? Well, you were out there kissing all the girls. You had energy, hun.
Oh my God, okay.
You had all the energy.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, so what are you talking about? I'm draining your energy.
Like you're asking a question, then another, then this and that. Please make sense. Ask simple questions. If you feel a way, address it. Don't come with an attitude in front of everyone. That's ridiculous.
When you were kissing up everyone.
Oh my God, you don't even make sense.
And you want to walk away. Really?
No, I'm not going to waste my time and having my energy taken from you. You've done enough. It's either you come with like, you know, compose yourself.
He interrupted her mid-sentences, spoke over her in group conversations, and critiqued her at every given opportunity.
Tell me everything.
Well, you walked away from the last conversation.
Yeah, because we talked about being closed off, okay? With everything you do, I'm like, you just base your emotions on like what you're feeling right now. I feel like you're not true to yourself. Every time we disagree, you go around this villa and talk about it to everyone.
everyone in here speaks to each other about their relationships. Like, that's just
You shouldn't.
what it
Well,
is.
yes.
I don't speak badly of you. Like, everything I talk to my friends about are things that I've already spoken to you about.
The thing is, you can say whatever. I don't give a fuck about like.
Then what are you? Well, no, I feel like you're deflecting.
I'm deflecting. Whitney, you can say whatever you want to anyone, talking about whatever. I don't care. How can I take you seriously? Please answer my question. How can I take you seriously?
How can you not gauge like emotional awareness when it comes to someone that you're coupled up with? You kissed every girl on the challenge.
That's a challenge.
No, because every single boy kissed the one they were most interested in. You're literally there emotionally for everyone, but when it comes to me, you're literally so mean.
Mean?
You're literally so mean.
If you come to me with an attitude, I want to address it, because don't waste my time with like...
All right, ready.
You sure? Okay.
It was subtle, but constant. The kind of behaviour most people might describe as miscommunication. But for a lot of black women, it's something else. Microaggressions. At one point, the viewers noticed how Mehdi seemed more concerned with Whitney's tone rather than what she was actually saying. He was listening, but he wasn't comprehending.
I want to address the kissing.
Okay, we can start there. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's a challenge.
No, it was a dance challenge. You know that, right?
Sorry?
It was a dance challenge.
That was the aim of the challenge, was to make the heart rates raise, right? When I step into a challenge, I don't have any malicious intentions or whatever. Now, I completely get your point of like kissing for girls, blah, blah, blah. So even though there wasn't anything malicious behind it, I apologize for that.
Yeah, but I just feel like what you did was very disrespectful.
Okay.
4 girls, you kissed more than half the group.
It wasn't long before the situationship started to show some cracks. Then came Casa Amor.
Ladies, I have a surprise for you.
Oh, a surprise?
Yeah, that car right there.
No!
Well, I've had a lot of... Oh, no. Why are they screaming?
Oh my God! Oh God! Wave to Neo! Wave to Neo!
Oh my fuck!
Oh, fuck off.
And they're gone.
Safe.
Bro, what is going on? Check the 5 bet. Nah.
No.
There's no one out here.
What the fuck?
It's just us.
Nah, this is getting weird now. Neo stole our girls, bro.
You're telling me my shorty went Neo's after party? Head's missing.
Boys, look at it. That's the girls. Oh,
It's
shit.
Casa.
It is Casa, boys.
Are you joking?
No, bro, they've gone. They've gone. Oh, boys, it's real. What a bantorious sort of evening this was. Neo took our girls to Casa.
For most islanders, it's the temptation test. For Whitney, it was an escape, a reset, a chance to meet someone who didn't just tolerate her confidence, but embraced it. Enters Lochan.
My name's Lochan, I'm 25 and I'm an account manager from London. I'm here to find the brains and the beauty. You've definitely got to have both to impress me.
This is business, so it's time that I go to work.
I know I'm a catch. I think I've got the looks and personality to go in there and turn some heads.
Calm, observant, a little mysterious. He did not try to overpower her. In fact, the moment they met, viewers noticed something different.
Obviously,
Let's start with you. What do you say?
With me, obviously I know I get guys like light work, but like I know what I want, and I'm not really into settling. So like,
you're not into settling.
No, I don't settle. Hence why I'm single.
Oh, as in settle like
someone
you,
like me
oh,
be
okay.
single?
I thought you meant like settle down. I'm like,
No,
why the fuck?
No, that I want to settle. But taxi. When you mean taxi, as in plane ticket.
Yeah.
He listened. He made her laugh, and not by mocking her, but by expressing the same types of interests. He actually saw her.
And just, catching the vibe, you know. But you're looking beautiful.
Oh, thanks. I guess time will tell in here. Like, exciting.
Well, would you want to share a bed with me tonight?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Shake the hand, let's make it official. We're strictly business, yeah?
Yeah, strictly business.
He said the right things. He held eye contact, called her beautiful. Whitney said it best. My name and your name go together. For the first time in weeks, she didn't have to shrink herself. And just like that, the nation fell in love with Whitney and Lochan. After the villa, Whitney and Lochan became a fan favourite. Whilst the other couples fizzled away and followed each other or announced breakups, Whitney and Lochan continued, growing strong, reiterating the public sentiment that they should have won. But instead, they actually came second place. They posted couple photos here and there, vlogged their dates and vacations, even appeared on interviews with cheeky smiles and inside jokes. They also posted on YouTube, sitting side by side reacting to fans' assumptions and finishing each other's sentences. People were rooting for them. They weren't trying too hard. They looked like what Love Island rarely delivers, a real couple. After Love Island, Whitney was booked and busy. Brand deals, panels, events, red carpets, and then came a guest spot inside by the Sidemen. The format was actually quite simple. A rotating cast of online personalities, influencers and reality stars reacting to viral clips and pop culture moments. Laughter was expected. Banter was a part of the brand, or so it seemed. During one segment, Patrice Evra, the former French footballer, began to speak. What Whitney did was wrong. The laugh, the comment about Patrice's English, it was not okay. It was distasteful, poorly timed, and to make matters worse, in front of millions. Whether it was an inside joke or not, the moment did not land. And when you're in the public eye, perception is reality. Whitney later clarified that she and Patrice had an on-running joke where they teased each other off camera. She apologised and they moved forward. But the internet refused to move on. Unfortunately, the public doesn't care about private apologies, not when there's blood in the water. The segment was clipped, reposted, stitched, captioned with words like mean girl, rude, disrespectful, bully.
And guys, the ever comment, I can understand how it's come across as really bad, and I do apologise to anyone that I've offended. But I think you guys, what wasn't shown in the show, that me and Patrice had this banter where we would always make mockery of each other's accents. And I have a Nigerian mum, and we do this all the time. My pronunciation, her pronunciation's very different. And Patrice, obviously, he's African and French, and he's from so many places, but he's able to connect with me on that vibe. And that's why we vibe so much in the house, is because he reminds me of my aunties and my uncles, hence Uncle P. But do you know what? In the beginning, that wasn't the time nor place. I'm not gonna say I was tipsy, but it's not even a blame on the alcohol situation. But yeah, that's my uncle. I've spoken to him. He's called me crazy for even thinking that he was offended. But I just wanted to let you guys know what was up, because it was never that kind of party. But definitely bad joke, wrong time. For sure.
People who had disliked Whitney since the villa for being too loud, too direct, too sure of herself, finally had something to hold on to. They finally had a solid cause to drag her, to discredit her. And now they have it, they ran with it. Lapse of some sorts. As the internet spiraled, so did the hate. Whitney was not just criticised, she was targeted, unaliving threats, racial slurs, misogyny wrapped in fake concern. What started as backlash quickly morphed into abuse. But the worst part, she was going through it alone. During the storm, people began to notice something's off. Lochan, her so-called partner, had gone quiet. No public defence, no story reposts, no tweets, no interviews, no support. He didn't even acknowledge the fact that the woman he left the villa with was being dragged through digital hell. To some, it made sense. They saw it as damage control, a PR move. He was trying to protect his brand, they said. Why should he get dragged through the mess? But to others, it felt cold. This was the woman he claimed to love, the woman he called his peace, and now, when she needed someone, anyone, he vanished. No subtle support, no check-ins, no visible solidarity, not even a whisper. And then, silence. Not all at once. First it was a few posts, and then it was solo content. And as always, the internet noticed. Spectators started to comment, are Whitney and Lochan still together? Why hasn't he been in her stories? But neither of them addressed it. And like most love stories, the breakup wasn't loud. It was slow, quiet, and unconfirmed. Until one day it wasn't. In April 2025, Whitney and Lochan delivered a mutual breakup announcement via Instagram story. It read something along the lines of, and this is paraphrased, unfortunately mine and Lochan's relationship has come to an end. Thank you for all the love and support that you've shown us. It seems civil, almost respectful, but beneath all that, composed statement laid layers and layers of hurt, confusion, and unresolved tension. According to Whitney, Lochan told her he needed space to focus on his career, pitching the split not as spite, but as a shift in priorities. And yet, the wound still was deep. Despite the sadness, she held out a sliver of hope. Right person, wrong time? But for many fans, that hope gave way for narrative of blame. Not long after Whitney and Lochan released their coordinated breakup statement, Lochan posted something that turned heads. A cooking video. During their relationship, Whitney had a vision for Lochan. A cooking series. Not just recipe videos, something bigger. A show that followed him all around the world.
I gave him this travel series idea in January once we said we're doing this, and I told him, you need to go and travel the world with your cooking content. You need to go and get down with the locals, get down with the community, and show people the different side to the world of cooking, right? And then in February, he's like to me, what's it called? I'm going to go to Costa Rica for 3 weeks and you can't come. I'm like, well, why can't I come? Even if it's the last week, I can't come and see you. He was like, no, I just want to come. I just want to go with my friend. And then his mom always gets involved. She's like, Whit's just being difficult. Whit's just being difficult. Like, you should be able to travel for 3 weeks without her saying anything. And then even coming down to breakup, he's like, yeah, I want to be with someone that lets me go 4 months at a time and I can come home to them. And I was just like, well, good luck. That's why I didn't really fight for that relationship, because one, it was evident because he was never there after the whole inside backlash. I only saw him once, and when I saw him, all he done when he came was watch TV. So at that point, I was done anyways, even though we had an amicable breakup, because I think we were both mentally just drained.
We're in Florence, so let's get some steak.
Excuse me, we're trying to vlog here.
Yeah, but we're time this over.
Exploring culture, food, and connection, a concept with purpose, with substance, something she believed in, even more than him at the time. And then, just weeks after their breakup, Lochan posted a cooking video. But it was not solo. It was not with Whitney. It was with Brianna, an American model who was also on a show called Too Hot to Handle. The video was light, polished, just another collaboration maybe. But to many viewers, it looked familiar. Not because of the style, but because of the storyline. Lochan has just launched the exact type of content Whitney recently dreamt up for him. But now it's with a new woman.
Hey you.
What?
Yes you. Lana has instructed me for you two to have a lit summer. You must make Rasta pasta.
My spring onions, it just took it from a 9 to a 10.
It did.
All while Whitney was still being dragged on social media, still mourning the breakup and mocked for expressing herself via spoken word poetry, Lochan did not defend her when she was receiving hate or stood beside her when her character was being torn apart. But he did, however, have time to cook pasta with Brianna. Time to smile for the camera. Time to monetize her idea, but with another woman.
I'm a mommy.
Mommy?
I'm a mom.
Mamacita.
Whitney didn't lash out. She didn't post a rant. She just reshared a fan's DM on Snapchat. It read, "Sorry to disturb you, sis, but have you seen your replacement?" And she responded with a sharp but simple line. Using another sister for clickbait, president. It wasn't anger, it was clarity. Because when someone shows you who they are, you believe them the first time. On Love Island USA Season 6, Jana Craig made headlines post-breakup when she revealed her ex, Kenny, had allegedly made racist remarks and prioritised fame over authenticity.
We are finding out more information about what Kenny actually did to Janae, and she's right, it is way worse than cheating. You may have seen by now that one of Janae's best friends posted this on her Instagram story yesterday. She says, "My advice for women in relationships, if you have access, go through your man's phone today. Search keywords like, I don't like black women, I thought I would get more money from this, I'm faking this relationship, going on the show would be for clout, I can't wait to be done with this so I can F hella blank. You'll thank me later. P.S. Never spare a man. Dog them out, baby girl." Again, one of Janae's best friends posted this. Janae's Love Island USA co-stars have also been posting in support of her. Liv says, "Your pathetic excuse for a story is laughable. I can't even put into words how good of a person Nene is and how hard it is to watch her go through something like this." She tags Kenny saying, "I hope this gives you the clout you always wanted, you effing loser." Liv also shared a screenshot where she asks ChatGPT if Kenny's response was written by AI, and ChatGPT says yes. Kaylor posted saying, "Kenny Rodriguez is a poor excuse of a man. You lost the most beautiful, genuine soul. Shame on you." And Serena says, "Let's all remember this is not a show and someone's actual feelings. It may just be tea for y'all, but that's not the case for us. Y'all already know how I'm coming behind Janae, and trust, so does he." One TikToker shared a post claiming that Kenny's family was also making racial remarks towards her and that they didn't like her, but Janae actually commented on the video saying his family has nothing to do with it. Kenny's the villain, not his family. She's been reposting a lot of TikToks like like this one that says she gave him her heart, her time, her platform, and even her peace, only to find out he was a fraud from day one, a clout chaser who used her name for brand deals, her kindness for cash, and her shine for followers. He smiled in her face, but he called her racial slurs behind her back, thinking his ugly truth would stay hidden. But God doesn't play about his daughters. She reposted Dr. Miami's video where he says, "Me because a baddie. Janae has been set free, but it's on site when I see Kenny." And Janae also posted this on her TikTok story. It says, "Here we are again, another man who saw a radiant black woman not as a partner, but as a ladder. You climbed her light for clout, for fame, for a fleeting taste of power, forgetting that without her, you were a shadow." And you can pause to read the rest. I really feel for Janae and everything that she's going through, but I am also happy that Kenny is being exposed for the racist clout-chasing loser that he is. Let me know your thoughts and follow me for more.
Several castmates, including Sierra's page, Leah, publicly labelled him a racist, a clout chaser, and a scammer. That moment resonated widely, especially for black women in reality TV, who know how lonely it can feel when you're undermined behind the scenes and the red flags are overlooked. Around the same time, Whitney Adebayo joined a TikTok trend that says, "You look happier now." She posted a simple radiant video of herself, and the next slide added, "Thanks. I've been happier since I started loving my skin he used to call dirty." It wasn't about clout. It wasn't cryptic for the sake of mystery. It was her truth, short, stark, and powerful. It should have been a moment of truth, a woman finding peace, but the internet didn't respond with compassion. They responded with suspicion. Spectators made comments such as, "The timing is convenient. This is just because he filmed with Brianna. Oh, she's bitter. Where's the evidence?" For many, it wasn't a revelation. It was a reaction. And just like that, Whitney was no longer a heartbroken ex. She was on trial in the court of public opinion. At the same time, across the ocean, Jana from Love Island, USA had come forward with her own story. Her ex-partner was accused of racism, of clout chasing, of emotional manipulation. And people, they believed her. They rallied around her, they supported her, they reposted her video with messages like, "We stand with you, protect black women." But Whitney, she was met with, "She's just mad he left her and he's moving on." It's giving bitter. Where are the screenshots? American users began pointing out the contrast.
Women in England, I am sorry for y'all and I'm scared of y'all. Whitney told y'all what the fuck she went through. You see how here in the US, Janae said what the fuck she went through? Like, it was just like a peep. Just like, we didn't even know what the fuck. And we rode hard for Janae. Whitney told y'all what the fuck she went through, and y'all are being like, "Oh, we don't believe her. Oh my God, Lochan, we believe you." And it's a lot of y'all black women too who are on Lochan's side. Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all hate yourselves over there. Oh.
I knew that racism in the UK was like a different beast like than the US, not because like one's bigger than the other, but it's a little different. And I knew that because I used to watch Backchat on YouTube. It's a show. It's kind of like The Grapevine in the US, but it's a show where black Brits get together, men on one side, women on the other side, and they throw a topic out there, like an urban culture topic, whatever, and then they discuss it. And this girl named Nunu used to get dogpiled on. I mean, people used to go after her so fucking bad, and she used to stand her fucking ground. I remember watching this show, and I used to be like, why isn't even the program defending her in the comments? Like, why are they letting people go to her Instagram, letting people go on the YouTube channel and like dog her out so bad? And this guy that she used to get into it with all the fucking time on the show, he ended up being an abuser. He ended up abusing somebody that was actually on the show as well. And so turns out she was fucking right. Her antennas were right the whole fucking time. And it was so crazy because even the women on the show wouldn't like be on her side. Like, her side was too extreme. And then me on the other side of the world used to be like, she ate that up, right? But it's so crazy also thinking about Whitney and Lochan, because even Whitney, I've seen her get so much bad press, and even looking in the comments, it's other black UK or like British women talking shit about her too, saying she has a nasty attitude, she has this. I'm like, she would have thrived in the US. She ain't got a nasty attitude. She know who the fuck she is, and she's standing on it. And it's so weird. It's so odd to see like the difference. And it also like just circles into the fact that like when I see like the racism that black women face like in the UK, it's jarring to me because even other women will like help dogpile on them. And I don't know, I guess I feel like where I'm from is just like, I don't know, they have a different line. And also, I made this video a while ago when I was in Ghana calling black UK men sassy, but I was really just saying they're weird as fuck because they can't even get along or be nice to women that they aren't attracted to, and it rubbed me the wrong way. And black British women were like, yeah, they're bad vibes. They are the worst fucking vibes. And just seeing like racism has done a number on us all. But man, in the UK with other black people, especially the black diaspora, I don't know. Because Whitney, she would have thrived if she went on Love Island, bro. She would have thrived because there's no way I thought she was lying when she said Lochan called her skin dirty. I feel like he said more, and everybody's like, oh, but I think maybe. You think maybe what? Why would that be a joke? Why would that ever be a joke that anybody would say to anybody? That would never be funny. Especially as a black person dating somebody who's not black. Why would that be in the chamber?
Why was Jana believed instantly, completely, whilst Whitney was interrogated like a suspect? The answer? Maybe it's cultural. Maybe it's media conditioning. Maybe it's internalized racism. But the difference was clear. One was embraced and the other was picked apart. In the UK, racism doesn't always look like slurs. It's not always loud. It's often quiet, dressed in manners, delivered with a smile. They won't call you a specific name. They'll just question your tone. They'll say, you're too defensive, you're too loud, you're too aggressive. Or worse, in this case, they will ask you questions such as, are you sure that's what he meant? This is racism Whitney faced. Not in obvious attacks, not with direct slurs, but in the way her pain was doubted. Her story was minimalized. Her trauma was treated like an inconvenience. While American viewers rallied around Jana without question, British media and audiences asked Whitney for proof. Not because her story sounded unbelievable, but because believing her would disrupt the narrative they've already chosen for her. A narrative built long before she ever stepped foot into the Love Island villa, one where she was too confident, too difficult, too much. They didn't want the truth. They needed her to be lying, so they could stay comfortable clinging onto the stereotype they've already written, the mean black girl. Not because it was real, but because it was easier. The idea of her being a victim didn't align with that bully narrative they had already set for her. And so, when she finally spoke her truth, they didn't hear it. That's the difference in the UK. Racism is often covert. It hides behind ideals like, I don't see colour. In Whitney's case, behind phrases like, let's hear both sides, let's not jump to conclusions. She just seems difficult. After Whitney's post, Lochan put out his version of events. Lochan said it happened about a year into their relationship. They were on a walk near his flat. Whitney had just gotten her nails done.
I don't even know where to really begin with this. And my family are pretty devastated and upset by, everything that's kind of circulated in the news and social media from, my past relationship. And yeah, it's pretty hard to talk about, but I feel like, I've got no other choice now to stand up and defend myself. Like I really wanted, Whit and I just to move on happily with our lives and just, be happy. I want her to be happy. But, it's reached a point where I do need to stand up for myself and talk about, this whole incident that is circulating on the internet. About a year into my relationship with Whit, we were on a walk close to my flat. She got her nails done and she, annoyingly put her nails in my face and was like, oh, my hands are so clean. My hands are so clean, yours aren't. And I was like, no, they're not.
According to him, she playfully put her hands in his face and said, my hands are so clean.
And, I was kind of just annoyed her hands were in my face, but it was a very off-the-cuff remark. I just said, no, they're not.
He said he responded casually, no, they aren't. Lochan insists it was nothing more than that, a throwaway remark in everyday moment. But according to him, Whitney replied changed the entire tone.
And, she looked at me in shock and was like, you're calling me dirty. And, I was taken back by that. I was, you know, I felt insulted that, you know, my girlfriend who I loved, who knows me, who knows that I would never insinuate something like that, is, you know, calling me a racist and saying, you know, you're calling my skin dirty. So
she allegedly said, "So you're calling me dirty?" And that's when he claims the conversation shifted from teasing to something much heavier. Lochan says he felt blindsided, even hurt, by her interpretation. He says he never mentioned her skin, never meant it racially.
I just want to first off say I've never called anyone's skin dirty, and I would never. Like, that to me is the most upsetting comment. And I think when Whit retaliated the way she did, amongst anything, I was super upset because, you know, this is the girl I love, this is the girl I'm with. And then, you know, it was a very emotional day for both of us. I was getting told, oh, the world's going to see, you know, the racist that you are.
And will never call anyone's skin dirty. But in that moment, he claimed Whitney told him the world is going to see the racist you are. He says that line hit him hard. Not just for what it implied about him, but because of what it could mean for him and his family as well.
And, you know, that was super upsetting for me because, you know, I love her family, I still do. And I didn't care about the public. It was more like, you know, your family, you're gonna paint this picture to my family that, you know, I've called your skin dirty, when that never happened. That never happened. And that was really upsetting. And then, you know, on top of that, having the comment to say, the world's going to see the real you. Like, I, of course, was scared because I was like, this narrative of something that has been taken completely out of context is now going to be, you know, shown to the world as it has been done now. And that's why I need to stand up and talk about it, because it's painting this picture of me, you know, that I called her dirty, or I would regularly, you know, refer to her skin as dirty. And this is just I'm trying to explain the context of the scenario so you understand what happened, and it wasn't that.
He says he loves Whitney's family and couldn't believe she would think he was capable of saying something like that. In his TikTok, Lochan repeated that the comment had been taken out of context. He says he wants people to know exactly what happened, that it was about her hands, not her skin. To him, his multicultural background proves he would never say something racist. His mum is Indian, his dad is Scottish, Polish, English. On Love Island, he said he was Spanish, though it later came out he considers himself white.
And, you know, I had text from Lizzie. You know, she said, brother, you don't need to explain. Like, I understand, like, we know you're not a racist. Her mum called me, I called her mum, you know. But that's been taken and spun and, you know, made me to basically say your hands are dirty, or your skin, not even your hands, your skin, which it's hard to even say these words because it just goes against everything that I've been raised, coming from like a multicultural background, my mum being Indian, my dad Scottish, Polish, English. It's upsetting and devastating. I don't know.
And he says the accusation has been super upsetting for him, insisting again that it never happened. Lochan also suggested Whitney had spoken badly about him online and on podcasts. Until this point, she kept her comments neutral or positive about their 2 years together.
And I feel like, you know, ever since the breakup, it's like a constant prod online, you know, whether it be the breakup post, like this is the day he didn't choose me, or, you know, I'm locked out, or other podcasts where, you know, you speak badly about me, but I don't hold any like ill or, you know, hatred in my heart towards, you know, where I want her to be happy. I still do want her to be happy, even amongst all of this mess. And, you know, that's what's so upsetting about this situation, is it feels like, you know, this was done to cause harm. And, you know, it is. So I don't even know what to say, really.
Yeah, he was like to me, I don't know if I even told you this, but when he came over and chose his fucking self. Still love you, babe. But he literally, like, he was like, I've seen how much you've changed and you're becoming like the woman that we spoke about you becoming. And like, I'm just not willing to do that.
See, I feel like some men also don't like to see the other partner grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I find that so
I was
weird.
like bamboozled because I was kind of like, this is the person that you told me that you wanted. Like, and I'm not talking about before you lot say you would change your man. I'm talking about actual, like, in terms of like how I speak to him and like narrowing down on the, you know, the aesthetic
And I just want to say as well, like, with the situation on the day where I was texting Lizzie and, you know, her family, like, I was in panic mode. Like, I was upset. I was devastated that, you know, the person that I'm with is saying the world is going to see you for the racist that you are. And it wasn't even, you know, her family. Like, it was just such an upsetting situation. So me referring to things as, like, you know, a joke in text was me merely trying to, like, diffuse a situation where I was in complete panic mode because, you know, something was being twisted in front of me and I couldn't navigate it, and I was scared and I was upset and I was trying to deal with all these emotions in one day. And, you know, I mean, I even got support from, like, you know, Lizzie and her family, and saying, you know, don't worry about it, we believe you, it's fine. And, you know, it was squished and it was moved on. But just seeing this being brought back into light, it's not even upsetting just for me, but it's the toll it's having on my family.
He says he wants her to be happy, but in the same breath he's appearing publicly with other women while she's still dealing with public backlash. He says he was in panic mode and the entire situation has taken a toll on him and his family. But the question remains, if the panic kept him from defending himself, why did it not keep him from posting? Why did it not keep him from doing collaborations?
I just want to put this all to bed and for everyone to get on with their lives and be happy and just stay blessed. And Whitney, your family, you know, I still wish you all well. And
Whitney didn't go live. She didn't sit down for an interview. She opened TikTok, and for the first time she laid out her version of events. According to Whitney, it wasn't the way Lochan told it.
I don't need 24 hours to respond. Like, Lochan, are we doing this? Are we really gonna go for the nice boy, puppy dog eye look? Really? Back to the situation of how it happened. We were walking back from lunch, going back to his place, and I was in the sun, and I was like, babe, look how my skin glistens in the sun. And he looked at me and he was like, ugh, it's dirty.
They weren't walking near his flat after she put her hands in his face. They were walking back from lunch, heading to his place. She says she was in the sun, feeling really good, looking at the way her skin caught the light. She turned to him and she said, ah, look how my skin glistens in the sun.
And then only when I lashed out, he was like, it was a joke, it was a joke. And he was crying. He called all my family members saying it was a joke, it was a joke. And because Lochan gives off this golden retriever energy, like no one would ever believe that he would ever say it maliciously.
And his response, she says it was immediate. Ugh, it's dirty. Whitney says there was no laugh, no playful tone, no hint of affection. Only when she reacted, when she lashed out, did he say it was a joke. A joke he was perfectly comfortable making until there were consequences. In her TikTok, Whitney said this wasn't the first time Lochan made comments at her expense, that there were digs, other jokes dressed as humour.
But you guys know I have dark humour. So I know when something's a joke and when something's being said seriously and then span into, oh, it's a joke.
And that he only seemed to see an issue when those words came back with consequences. She says that after she reacted, he started crying, playing victim, and then called her entire family to tell them it was just a joke. Whitney says this is the kind of behaviour that's dangerous because it's invisible to everyone else. It's some sort of emotional abuse. Presenting yourself as perfect in public whilst making subtle, cutting remarks in private. And with Lochan, golden retriever energy, she quoted. She says nobody will ever believe her.
And let's not even start there because we're really going to dive into it. When I used to come to your house, what did your mum used to say to me? The lights would go off and she would say, oh, where's Whit gone? Whit, smile. And that was an on-running joke in that household, like, Whit, smile, Whit, smile. So I just hate the fact that he's coming on the internet acting so, like, innocent. I'm not even here saying that Lochan is a racist. I'm here saying that he made racial slurs. Yes, racial slurs towards me.
Whitney also described moments in his home, times when the lights would go out, and she says his mother would make comments like, where's Whitney? Suggesting her skin was too dark to be seen, or telling her to smile so they could see her teeth in the dark. Whitney says this became an on-running joke in that household. And while she says she doesn't believe Lochan's a racist, in the sense of ideology, she does believe he made racial slurs towards her.
This is the same guy that used to pocket watch me and say, oh, why didn't you tell me you got paid today? Oh, like, the bill's on you. Pay for the rounds of drinks for my friends. Like, I can't even believe the poppy dog eyes and the, oh my God.
For her, it was the combination. The household jokes, the comments from friends using the N-words and him staying friends with them anyway. The moments he allegedly called black culture too ghetto and too loud, all while knowing their future children would be black. Whitney also accused Lochan of pocket watching her, asking why she didn't tell him she got paid, telling her the bills are on you, or asking her to buy drinks for him and his friends. She brought up how, when they first met, he told her he was Spanish, when he wasn't, adding to his layer of calculated lies. She says she paid for almost everything when they left Love Island broke, that she fueled the dream and gave him the idea of the travel cooking series in January.
This is the same guy, and you guys, you can go and roll the tapes because it's there on his Love Island tape. This is the same guy that told me he was Spanish when we met. The same guy that made me go, I don't even know where it was, far, far away with him to draw his hairline, and then on that same day sent me home, as in I couldn't sleep in the house. And this is the same guy whose friends used to use the N-word, and he would condone it by still being friends with them and going to paddle with them. And I used to tell him, this is where someone tweeted about me being on the train saying the N-word, because I was like, why are you hanging around with people who obviously have that word in their vocabulary? And I'm obviously a black woman. And one day, I'm sure you anticipate on having kids with me, like you said. So therefore, your kids would be black. So why are you condoning your friends talking like this? That's what that argument on the train was about.
And shortly after, in February, he told her he was going to Costa Rica for 3 weeks without her. When she asked to at least join for the final week, he allegedly told her he wanted a woman who would let him be free. He would rather go with his friends. When his mother got involved, Whitney said she dismissed her concerns by telling him, it's just been difficult.
Are you guys asking me, why did I go back with him? No, we broke up when that racial slur happened, right? And then moving forward, it was turbulent in our relationship. That was very on-offy. That's why I wasn't posting much online, because I didn't want to put forward something that I wasn't genuinely feeling to my core. So it got to the point where we went to New York and I wanted to break up with him. I was saying to him, like, yeah, feelings are still there, but I just don't see this going in the way that I want my future to go. It's the same guy that gaslighted me and said, oh, I want to marry you, I want to do this for you. Guys, he took me to therapy with him, to do couples therapy. And then the whole inside thing happened, and then Bob's your uncle, he was gone a week later because I didn't get the same clout that I got from Love Island.
Whitney says when the inside Netflix backlash happened, Lochan disappeared within a week. She claims it's because she didn't get the same clout he could feed off anymore. She called him a culture vulture.
Lochan is a culture vulture. He clocked that his audience obviously is predominantly black, so he's constantly trying to tap into the culture, but the same culture he stripped me of, the same culture he told me I was too ghetto, I was too loud, my family can't come to his sister's events because they'll steal the attention. There was so much that went into that relationship, hence why I slowly started to mutate my whole identity and I lost myself.
Someone who knew his audience was mostly black and wanted to tap into that culture. The same culture he once called too ghetto and too loud. She says he even told her that her family couldn't attend his sister's event because they would steal the attention. Whitney says every time she tried to leave, Lochan would come back with flowers, charm her family and present himself to the world as the perfect gentleman. She says that made her look like the aggressive one, the pit bull, while he kept the golden retriever mask. When they finally broke up, she says she wanted to protect him.
And going back to the point of why did you stay, every single time I'll try and leave this guy, flowers, bring my mum flowers. He presented himself to my family and to the world like, I'm a golden retriever, I'm a nice guy. So obviously everything that I do, I'm a pit bull. Like, I just look crazy because it's never going to compare to his fake aura.
But he allowed the negative narrative about her to grow. And his silence, she says, bred rumours, gossip, storylines that weren't true. Whitney says that after everything, the comments, the silence, the calculated public image, it came down to a choice. Him or her.
When I first came out about my breakup, I was very much like, I'm going to protect him. I'm only going to say the good. It's the right thing to do. The nice thing. But then with time, he allowed this narrative of me to be ran. Even though he was silent about it, that silence, it bred story times. It bred room for people to give their opinions and say things about me that wasn't true. And when I wanted to put out the statement, he was like to me, can you specify it's not about the inside thing? Can you put that in there? And I was like, why are you even thinking about that? Because at that time, I wasn't even thinking about that. But why are you thinking about it? Because that's exactly what it was, about the inside backlash.
And for the first time in their 2 years together, she chose herself. She says he doesn't have anything to defend against her because she knows how much she contributed to his platform and how much she supported him.
I was constantly giving him grace, but when did he ever give me grace? So it got to a point where, like, now it's me or you, and this time I'm gonna pick me. The same way you're sitting there saying, oh, I need to defend myself. You've got nothing to defend yourself from, because I know how good I was to you. I know how much I fueled your platform. I know what kind of girlfriend I was. Like, when we come out of Love Island, we were both broke. And I know who was running the checks, who was paying the bills, who was fueling the dreams, who was creating. Wait, don't even get me started.
And when he took 3 days to post his response of his recollection of events, she says it's because he was getting his ducks in a row, crafting his words for maximum image control.
Like, I went out sad to protect him. And this time round, I'm not doing that just because you come on here with your 3-day speech that you've put together and your puppy dog eyes. Like, I really know you didn't love me. You loved what I could give you until I could no longer give it to you. So please stop lying, Lochan. Please. That's why you've been calling me, not me personally, you've been calling my family, you've been calling management to take it down, take it down. If you knew you didn't say those things before I even stated it was your name, why are you belling off my phone? Why are you belling off my sister's phone? Why are you sending 100 texts? And the question of why is it coming out now? Well, I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, and I didn't feel like that part of my story was something that I wanted to share until now. And now I'm not ashamed and embarrassed about it because I'm the first, not the first, sorry. I'm one of many women that go through it, but I'm happy that I'm out of that situation. And I'm happy that I survived that situation, as much as people like to make me look some kind of way. I know the kind of person I am. I know my heart. I love hard. I ride out. I'm a strong girl. But it gets to a point where I just feel like there's a lot of strength in vulnerability, hence why I started my Becoming Her series. Not necessarily because it was fueled by the breakup, it's fueled by pain, and there's a lot of strength in showing your pain and surviving it. So you can look at me like, oh, you're a victim, you're embarrassing, but that's my story and I choose to own it.
And her final point of why it's only coming out now, the truth was, she said she was embarrassed and ashamed before, but she's not embarrassed anymore. She survived it and she's owning it, even if people mock her for it and how she chooses to heal from it. When Whitney posted her TikTok, the public didn't debate what she said. They dissected it. When Lochan posted his video with Brianna from Too Hot to Handle, a video many viewers read as flirty, holding hands on the steps, laughing, feeding each other. To some, Whitney's post felt like a retaliation. They decided, oh, she's just a bitter ex, and that she was jealous, just trying to ruin his reputation. But there was another timeline running alongside that one. Jana, a black woman from Love Island, USA, had just come forward with her own story about experiencing racism from a partner. Whitney never said this directly inspired her, but people close to the situation believe Jana's courage may have given Whitney permission to speak her truth. Instead of considering that, the internet locked into the idea that her story was only coming out because of the Brianna video. They questioned why she stayed with him so long if things were so bad as she claimed. But that's victim blaming in its loudest, clearest form. Because two things can be true at the same time. You can love someone and they can still hurt you. You can want to leave and still find yourself staying. Emotional attachment is messy. And unless you've lived in that push and pull, it's easy to mistake survival for consent. It's the question people always ask. Why stay? Why not walk away the first time something crossed the line? To outsiders, it seemed simple. If someone hurts you, you leave. But relationships, especially long ones, don't work like clean cuts. They fray, they tangle, they trap. Psychologists call it trauma bonding. It's what happens when moments of harm are followed by moments of love, apologies, and promises that feel real in the moment. That cycle can train your brain to associate reconciliation with safety. You start chasing the highs after the lows, the flowers after the fight, the charm after the insult, and every time they show you their good side, it reinforces that hope that this time it will be different. And in emotional attachment, the shared memories, the intertwined routines, the life you built together. And leaving doesn't feel like losing a person, it also feels like losing yourself. And that's why Whitney says she compromised. Why she tried to protect him, why she stayed. Even when she admits she saw the red flags, it wasn't weakness, it was complicated, messy human bond that keeps people in relationship long after the love has stopped feeling safe. So when the public asks, why didn't you leave sooner? What they're really asking is, why didn't you behave the way I think I would have? But the truth is, until you've lived in that push and pull, that golden retriever in public, pitbull in private dynamic, you don't know which part of them you would be holding on to. Whitney calls it golden retriever energy, the harmless, happy-tailed, wagging, kind personality that makes people feel safe the second they meet you. And it works. Not just on friends, but strangers, and also entire audiences. Psychologists call this the halo effect. It's when one positive trait, like being funny, gentle, even photogenic, spills into how people see everything else about that person. If you look kind, people assume you're kind. If you act gentle in public, they assume you're gentle in private. And when that's the picture in people's heads, they'll defend it, even when the reality doesn't match the image. Whitney says that in their relationship, Lochan's golden retriever persona didn't just fool the public, it made her doubt herself. Every time, he would come back with flowers, turn on the charm, and present himself to her and her family as the perfect boyfriend. And the more he played that role in public, the easier it was for people to paint her as the problem. The pit bull to his golden retriever. But that's the trap. When someone's public image is untouchable, their private actions become easier to dismiss. Because if the golden retriever bites, people would rather believe you provoked it than admit the dog isn't as safe as it seemed. Lochan says it was never about her skin, just an off-the-cuff joke about her hands, taken out of context, of course. Whitney says it was exactly about her skin, and it wasn't the first time. 2 people, 2 stories, 1 relationship. The rest of us only saw in curated squares on Instagram. The public didn't enter this conversation with blank thoughts. They already decided who Whitney was. Confident to some, arrogant to others. And who Lochan was, the calm, smiling, golden retriever boyfriend. So when she spoke, her words were weighed against the characteristics they had already casted for her. And in that script, the mean girl is never the victim. The nice guy never leaves bite marks. The internet wanted proof. Then they wanted context. Then they wanted a reason not to believe her. all while ignoring how microaggressions work, the small cutting remarks that leave you questioning yourself until one day you stop questioning and start speaking. And yes, the timing made it messy. Lochan and Brianna's cooking video, Jana's story, the TikTok trend. But two things can be true. Someone can be hurt and have bad timing. Someone can love you and harm you. Someone can want to leave and still stay. At the centre of this isn't just a breakup, it's the way we as a public decide who gets to be believed. We hand out credibility like a popularity contest. And would rather protect an image than accept that the golden retriever might have teeth. Then, Brianna spoke. She didn't name Whitney, but the timing was telling. She denied being with multiple reality men, said she's been celibate since her last relationship, and revealed she's been assaulted by someone in the industry. She claimed she prefers male friends because they're more chill than women, and insisted she's always respectful. On paper, it sounded harmless, but the tone, the timing, it fed the oldest narrative. The good black woman versus the problematic one. Whitney had never spoken badly about Brianna, yet knowingly or not, Brianna's words slotted perfectly into the internet's version of events, where she was innocent and Whitney was the mess. So, what happened between Whitney and Lochan? Maybe the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's split clean down the middle. Or maybe, like Whitney said from the start, it's him or me. And this time, I'm picking me. Thank you so much for watching this commentary, guys. I wanted to approach it in a different tone, I guess. This story personally affected me. I was actually very, 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 very shocked. I was genuinely in disbelief at the amount of black women especially. I think that's where the feeling of betrayal came from when I was watching all of this unfold. I couldn't believe the lack of support. I couldn't believe the lack of women. Not even just black women, just women, period. That wasn't even willing to hear her. And they've already decided. Long before she even said her version of events, they already decided. And for me, I will never prey on another woman's downfall, black or not. I think it was just double the hurt, knowing it was women, and to make matters worse, black women, especially, not believing her. And Whitney, if you're watching this, you are loved, you are believed, you are supported, you deserve to be heard, and you deserve grace. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Lots of love.